lots of stories that make Gus and Beto laugh, and his mother too. Trina was just glad Nick had brought the barbecue. Lately, he had wanted to look out the window when his mother walked outside with Nick. She stayed out there with him a long time. Beto and Gus were already asleep, so was Felix, who had come back from his father with $5 in his pocket, but no money for their mother. Trino would have slept on the sofa, but Garce's smell had remained behind. How long would the sofa stink? Sleeping with Beto was a wrestling match, but the boys smelled better. Through the opened window of the small bedroom, Trino heard his mother's soft voice and Nick's deep one. It was those long silences but in between that made Trino feel uneasy and sad. But I still wouldn't write a poem about it, he thought just before he fell asleep. Chapter 8. Friends. Trino slid down in the scratchy auditorium chair. Leaned his elbow on the wooden armrest and propped his head against his hand. Twice a month, Miss Juarez, the middle school principal, called an assembly during second period and talked forever about raising grades and improving attendance. At least he had gotten out of it listening to Mr. Cervantes try to explain fractions to the dummies who still hadn't figured out that pieces of a pie and numbers could represent the same thing. Hey! They caught Fabana and Bobby spitting off the stairs, someone whispered. They've been that stuff for weeks. Tell me something I don't know. Suddenly all the students around Trinos started clapping. He slowly raised his head to look up, then straightened himself in the chair when he saw the girl who walked across the stage toward the principal. Miss Juarez shook hands with Lasana, then gave the girl a white envelope. What's going on? Trino asked the boy beside him. The girl's the outstanding student this month. She wins a free pizza. Pizza? If I was going to be a good student, I'd want $100. But he kept watching a smiling Lasana, who waved her envelope at everybody then left the stage. Lasana had seemed pretty mad when Trino had left her in the bookstore. If he found her at lunch today, how would she act? Maybe winning a pizza would put her in a good mood. I was hoping Miss Juarez was going to keep the third period, too, said a boy, just as Trino after the assembly ended. Trino headed towards history class. He glanced over his shoulder to see Hector Lysana's friend. Yeah, me too. Do you think Coach will tell another story about Cabiza the Vaca man? If Cowhead was my family's name, I'd try to get adopted, Hector said. Trino shrugged, but smiled at what Hector said. Hector was a little taller than Trino. Trino big all over, but not fat usually. He sat in the front row of the class and answered Coach's questions when no one else raised their hand. Only this time Hector followed Trino towards the back of the classroom and sat down across from him in the last desk in the second row. You think Coach will give a pop quiz? Hector said. Trino shrugged, slouching down in the seat and putting his head down in his arms. An unexpected rap on the head made Trino look up. Zipper slid into the desk in front of him and turned sideways to talk to Trino. Despite the hot days, Zipper still wore a black leather vest with a lot of silver zippered pockets over his black t-shirts. Hey man, why didn't you wait for us this morning? Zipper said. I had to take my little brothers to school, Trino said, not wanting to tell Zipper the truth. When he walked with Zipper and Rogello at school, they always passed Epifano's store. But Trino wanted to stay away from that place for a week or two. He'd just use his brother as an excuse until everyone calmed down, especially Rosca. Still, Trino had to say, I heard some stuff about the old man who owns the corner store. Zipper just said, yeah, me too. Trino looked at Zipper waiting for something more, but Zipper just sat there fooling with a pocket zipper. So Trino looked over at Hector. Hector nodded his head as if Trino had talked to him first. You're talking about Epifano's, right? You ought to see the place. Big board across the front window. His son, you know the guy with teeth like Bugs Bunny? He says 3 kids beat up the old man. Now old Bugs is standing in the doorway giving everyone the ojo. As if no one's so stupid to beat up the old guy, then come back to his store to buy a soda. Yeah, Trino said, his voice very slow. So who asked you, Buzzhead? Zipper said suddenly. Trino glanced from Zipper to Hector, then said, leave him alone. Huh? Zipper frowned at Trino. Him? What? Before Trino could say anything, Coach Trevino walked in and announced that he was giving a pop quiz on Chapter 4. Hector leaned over towards Trino, then whispered, he always puts down 3 false ones in the middle. All the rest are true. Trino looked at Hector. It makes the quiz easier to clean. The coach does it this way, Trino thought. When history class was over, Trina wanted to ask Hector about Lasana and the others, but Zipper stayed around since they both had English next. They always met up with Willow with them. Only when Hector stood up and turned towards Trina, Zipper said, What you wearing, what you waiting for, Buzzhead?" Hector rolled his eyes to the ceiling and just walked away. "Where'd he come from?" Zipper grumbled, and Trino didn't answer. He walked in silence beside Zipper, out of the classroom and into the noisy hallway. Bodies of kids moved like ants trying to get to the sugar bowl. One girl waved $1 at another, and two boys tried to grab it while the others stood around laughing. Boys tried to get their lockers only to get bumped around. Somebody didn't see an open door, and everyone heard the crash of the body to metal. The teachers started to bark their usual, get to class now." Ruggiero stood by a water fountain near their English classroom. His half-closed eyes showed he was sleepy, yet his wrinkled clothes looked like he'd slept in them. "What's up? You look like crap," Zipper said, nudging Ruggiero's ribs with his elbow. "Crap?" Ruggiero said. "Then look at Trino. What's up?" Trino shook his head, and the three of them stood there without talking, just standing by the fountain, waiting until a teacher told them to get to class. Trino shifted his books onto his lap and stood where he was watching the kids go into different rooms. Down the long hall, a restless feeling burned inside him, like he should be doing something instead of just killing time by a water fountain. But what? Then, down the hall, he saw Lasana and that dumb Janie coming towards him. They walked with one other girl Trino didn't know. Lasana wore a short blue dress and shiny black shoes, as if she knew she had to dress up to shake hands with the principal. She hugged her books and black binder to her.